The #1 reason to do Anavar only on your first cycle, and this is going to surprise you, is what is your goal of doing Anavar? Is it to gain lean muscle, get shredded and jacked, more cut, having those overall muscle gains so when you take your shirt off, you just look so much better? Okay, and what is Anavar known for? Well, it's set in the mid-22nd century when humans are colonizing Pandora. What? I said Anavar, not Avatar. Donkey. Anyway, Anavar is known for its muscle revealing effects. Just like a skilled sculptor uses his chisel to carefully chip away at a block of marble, Anavar helps reveal the defined and chiseled muscle underneath the body fat. It enhances muscle definition and brings out the details. However, it's important to remember the foundation of the sculpture. And in this case, it represents the proper training and nutrition where you've built up muscle in the first place. Some of you out there are like, what is he getting at? This is my point. You've got to have muscle underneath. You look lean, but you're lacking muscle mass. You're going to look scrawny, frail, like a human toothpick. No one wants to look like that. There was a guy that I once knew, and he didn't have abs, and he couldn't walk around with his shirt off, unfortunately, until he hit the like button. As soon as he hit that like button, boom, lean mass throughout his body. Ask yourself, have you solely been focusing on building muscle for the last couple of years? Have you done any bulking compounds or cycles in the past? If not, you won't have much muscle underneath. You may think you do, but here's the test. When was the last time someone said, you look big, jacked, huge, strong? If none of these comments are coming in, unfortunately, you do not qualify for Anavar because you're going to be revealing the muscle underneath. It's going to be pretty embarrassing when there's no muscle under there. In any case, what is your goal? Is it to look like this, but you actually look like this? I'm just basically showing you someone who's impressive and someone who's not impressive. And let's say you just think, sod it, I'm going to do it for 12 weeks instead. I'm going to double the dosage that Dr. James says in all his other videos, and I'm going to do 60 milligrams a day for 12 weeks. That's a lot for a first cycle. Even with all that, you just will not be able to get there by using only Anavar. The whole idea of doing an Anavar only cycle for your first cycle is to use it as a short experience to know what training feels like when you have all guns and all ammo turned on. You're walking around God mode. You get the pumps, you get the confidence, you get the gains. And the half-life of Anavar is under 12 hours, so it's out your system very quickly. You're not going to get any liver damage by doing it for 4 weeks at 20 to 30 milligrams a day. So really, Anavar is a potential stepping stone for someone who wants to go and get some gains. And here we go, going back to what I said at the start. The #1 reason to do Anavar only as a first cycle is to know not to do Anavar only as a first cycle. Because I so often hear this statement coming up from guys who have done Anavar only as their first cycle. They say it worked well, no sides, got ripped, they didn't look overly juiced out of their mind. But then they say they went on to a test cycle and the gains and the physique that they got off that just don't compare. Oral anabolic steroids decrease appetite and increase bloat because it impairs your bioflow, and this slows down your digestion. Bio is your body's natural laxative. It digests fats and proteins in the small intestine. Now, this is an issue because guys need muscle, and muscle comes from food. And already guys out there are scared of getting fat. They're on the carnivore diet, they're fasting, they're on keto, they're on low carbs. They need to eat. And having less of an appetite and an increased bloated feeling makes it a whole lot more difficult. That's why orals on their own are not amazing for bulking. What have we got in common? We've got gains, haven't we? We're the Gains brothers. But we can't be brothers if you're not subscribed to the channel, can we? That's just not going to work. I suggest you subscribe now. It's going to impact your gains greatly, brother. Anavar shuts down DHEA, which is a steroid that is produced in your body's adrenal glands that then converts to testosterone. So after 2 to 4 weeks of Anavar, your DHEA is shut down. This is going to affect your state of being, affect you making progress. But if you did testosterone between 120 to 150 milligrams per week, it would replace those shut down levels of your test temporarily. So you're going to have to come off Anavar at some point, and when you do, you're going to have to go into PCT, post-cycle therapy. So you've got to wait 5 days to allow the Anavar to clear your system. Then you're going to have to use HCG. It's an injectable. 500 IU a week, 3 times a week for 2 weeks. HCG is like an artificial LH, or mimics LH. By the way, LH, luteinizing hormone, encourages the testes to produce testosterone. Then you're going to do the usual Nova at 40 milligrams a week and the Clomid at 50 to 100 milligrams a week, and you're going to taper down off those dosages. It's handy to be in a calorie surplus at this point, lowering your volume in the gym and also going for those compound exercises. So from all this, you now know that you can do a 4 to 6 week cycle on Anavar, and then you'll be into a 6-week PCT. Does that seem like a good idea when you could just do tests for 12 weeks and get triple the results, or even more? You know what, I'll just let you decide that. Have you got a fear of injecting? Because as I've just said, if you go down the Anavar route, you're going to have to rescue yourself potentially with injecting, whether it's using TRT or a low dose of test on your cycle, or using HCG to kickstart yourself post-cycle. So you're kind of backed into the corner here, because if you do the Anavar and don't inject, then you're going to probably suffer a little bit more. It's just like jumping in a swimming pool, isn't it? Facing your fear can be a refreshing, invigorating experience. It helps you grow, gives you new experiences, and is ultimately going to lead to you being more confident about yourself. Anavar is not for staying on for months, but you can stay on a lot longer when you're on test, which is going to give you better results. If you were to do Anavar for a month versus you doing testosterone for 4 months, I think you'd get very different results. Once you have those fundamentals on point, your diet's locked in, your training's pristine, and you're taking care of your health, you're going to be getting some gains, son, and you're going to be doing it with a smile on your face. If you're now thinking that the Anavar Only Cycle is a thing of the past and you want to move on and think about doing a safe, healthy, and correct approach using the testosterone as your first cycle, I've got a video coming up for you. I've done a whole video for you, dude. It's even more epic than this one. So get yourself over to that next video. I'm going to pop it up for you here now so it's super easy for you. And I'm out from this one, but I'll see you in that next one. Bang!